Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. It's Marilyn Richards. I'm here with Echo Tango Sierra, my podcast. Okay, or video series, whatever you want to call it. I my last video actually had a video zero. This is video two. I had video one. Video one, I talked about now what? That was the question. You're like in this transition phase, and you're like, now what? What do I do, right? But first of all, before I get into all that, let me introduce myself again. I am Marilyn Richards, founder of Echo Tango Sierra LLC, and I am here to be your battle buddy through the civilian world. I'm here to be your battle buddy in the civilian world because I'm here to help you forge ahead in life transition and life planning. So let's get started. Okay, so in video zero, I kind of talked about like why I started Echo Tango Sierra. This is why I'm here. I'm a dual service military veteran. I served in the Navy and the Air Force, and I've spent the last 20 something years struggling in my own journey to transition and adjust. And this is the vision of what Echo Tango Sierra has become, helping veterans successfully transition and transition well. And not just veterans, but military members and their families. And, I'm part of a military family myself. My stepdad and my dad, my biological father, are both Vietnam veterans. My stepdad passed away while I was still in the Air Force many years ago, but my biological father is still around. And because of them, I'm doing what I'm doing because I have a heart and passion to help my military community and to help my military community thrive. And this is why I'm here. But let's recap on video zero, which was like, oh, okay, here's who I am and here's what I do. Video one, we talked about the question, now what? You're in this transition phase and you're just trying to figure out what your next mission is in life, adjusting to the next chapter of your life, right? So this is episode two, recalibrating in the pause. What to do when life hits the brakes again. And you know what's going to happen again and again. Because it's funny that life is like that. Life has a way of being funny when it's not. I thought I was done with transition after the military, but to surprise, life has many, the saying, life gives you lemons. Life gives you lemons. And what do you do with those lemons? You make lemonade or a margarita if you're needing that. Make lemonade or forget lemonade, make margarita. The truth is, though, we are always transitioning. Always. I got out of the military twice because as a dual service veteran, I transitioned twice. And then I transitioned again when I pivoted careers. And as I've found, every time there's like a change of pace, a pivot, or something that happens that causes me to shift in my life, I'm transitioning again. And as a public servant, I am in this phase, which this is why I've entitled episode two, Recalibrating in the Pause, because as a public servant who is on furlough at the moment, it's helping me to kind of get some footing and getting grounded in what I'm doing with Echo Tango Sierra as I'm a full-time worker too. So, I mean, I have bills to pay, don't we all? So right now because I'm furloughed and affected by this, my anxiety's been up the yin yang. It's kind of forced me to slow down and slow down again because I'm always on the go. When I was in the Navy, I was in a very high-paced, high-stress, duress um, career field. So it was ingrained in me to just be like on the go. And like when you're in the Navy, you become like this jack of all trades anyway. So you're constantly having to do something anyway. And I've kind of carried that with me even post service and in life. But sometimes we have to slow down, right? The question that I had when I first got out, this is going back to video one. The question is, now what? What's next? How long is this going to last? Who knows, right? I mean, who knows? That's what I'm asking right now because I'm furloughed. How long is this going to last? Who knows, right? And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Reminds me of the times when being, in the military when you're caught in circumstances that suck and you have to embrace the suck, right? Ugh. Um, yeah. It sucks in the moment, but in the end, it kind of helps you not just shape you better, helps you become a better person, helps you, there's a blessing in disguise in every situation, right? Good or bad. What I realized is this season, it's not a punishment, even though it feels like it is, but it is a time to recalibrate. And that's what I recommend doing when you're in a phase of transition. You definitely need to take some time out to kind of just gauge where you are, what you want to do, and where you want to go from here. It's really just left to you to answer those questions. And those are some hard questions to answer right away. When I left the military, I actually, even now, being furloughed, I have had to learn to be still. No formations, no deadlines, no chain of command to tell you what to do. I remember this one time when my chief, I was in the Navy, he told me, you are not paid to think, you are paid to be told what to do. And so often, those are the kinds of orders that, we are barked at. Those are the kinds of orders that are barking, that we get, right? You're paid to be told what to do, especially if you're a lower enlisted. But you know what? As uncomfortable as it has been lately, silence helps you and makes you face yourself. It makes you really, when you sit in silence, it makes you really sit in the uncomfortableness of like answering those hard questions. And I'm here again, years later, having to practice that same discipline because what recalibration is, it's not quitting, it's fine tuning. Say that again. Recalibration is not quitting. You're stepping back to reassess like you would in a situation where you're assessing your environment, you know, having that intel, gathering your intel, making a plan of action. You're fine tuning it. And that's what you're doing in your post service life. You're fine tuning, the mission has changed, and now you have to find a new mission. And so you're fine tuning who you are and what you want out of life from here on. So, for example, with me being in this period of the shutdown, whatever whatever your version of a pause looks like, don't think of it as wasted time. Think about think about it as being a reset. The universe or God saying, it's not you've been in go mode for so long. You've got to sit down for a minute and remember who you are. Maybe this will be your chance to, instead of having to go, go, go and do, like I've been my whole life in survival mode, as someone who is a trauma survivor, one of those, um, uh, it's natural especially when you have like PTSD brain like me, um, you're in fight or flight, you're in go mode because you're having to stay busy all the time. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not. Like right now, because my anxiety is up the yin yang during this shutdown period, I'm re-exerting that energy out, and my recalibration phase now is what am I gonna do now? Um, and that's what I've been doing. I've been integrating in my community, volunteering in my community, networking, meeting people, getting this antsy energy out, because staying home right now is not healthy for me. And it's allowing me to take take the moment to take inventory, if I can, if I can speak, take inventory of what's draining you, realign your priorities, reconnect with people, faith, and purpose. And like I said in my last video, um, we we get so used to being in a structured environment, and it's so hard when we've have dealt with hostile and combat situations, or just like the military lifestyle because of the structure. It's so can be often very harsh, and it's hard for us to connect with our loved ones because they don't get it. Um, it's hard to turn that off, that switch of like you're so used to compartmentalizing things, and it does not, it works for hostile environments, but it does not work for like everyday civilian life. And especially when you're trying to find your footing, um, and that disconnect between your loved ones and your community, it's hard. It's hard to reintegrate, but you don't have to do it alone. It is possible, but you have to find your next mission and the purpose of your life. That's going to look different for you. And this is a time to kind of figure out how to do that, how to reconnect with people, with your faith and your purpose or whatever belief systems that you have, um, or rest. Simple as that. When I got out, I spent months living with my parents and resting because I just didn't know what I wanted. And that's okay too. Maybe you just need some time to rest. That's all right. It's all right to take a pause. There's a lesson in that. And if for those who have listening or watching to this video, if you are finding yourself as a public servant being affected by the shutdown, you're in a transition phase or a foggy season as a military service member or a family or a military family having to pivot and adjust again, don't let your mind turn into a failure. Instead, this is what I like to call when we're restructuring our thought processes. And this is something that I've learned also when I did cognitive processing therapy. You restructure and reframe your thoughts in that type of therapy. Ask what needs recalibrating in me. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your boundaries. I'm a yes girl. I'm used to saying yes, yes to everything, and I've had to learn to step back and say no and set boundaries, which is hard for some people like who are like me, who like to say yes to everything and want to help and want to do and just but you can't pour from an empty cup, and you've got to learn to set boundaries and say no. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's you defining what you want and what does success look like to you? Success can look like anything. Success is getting up out of bed, fighting depression. I am, because of my PTSD brain and the anxiety and depression that comes along with that, I've had many, many days where I've struggled with depression. And just getting out of bed is a victory. And so give that to yourself. If you're struggling right now and you don't know what you want out of life, don't be hard on yourself. Just breathe and just take this time to rest and reset. Whatever it is, use this stillness to realign before you move forward. For me, as a Christian, I believe God sometimes, he helps us to slow down, to save us from running off course. You know, I don't know what your faith background is or what your background is, like whether you believe in God or not. But if you're watching this video, please don't let it deter you from listening. But I do believe, if you don't stand, if you don't have that foundation, I mean, if you don't believe in anything, you'll fall for anything, right? And it's true. Every time um, God has shown me in my own life, He's closed doors. Um, he's quieted some of the noise within because my mind is always going, and I overthink and I overanalyze, and I struggle with racing thoughts too. However, when we find ourselves struggling, and I'll say this again, as your battle buddy, I help you struggle forward in civilian life. I'm your battle buddy. I help you forge ahead in life planning and life transition. That is what I am repurposing the all this negative energy and circumstances into. Some bad things happen, even to good people. It's not to punish us, but to prepare us for what's next, to prepare us better for what's ahead. And every time God has done that in my life, even when leaving the military and like leaving the military with a bitterness I had in my heart at the time. I hated the military at the time. I was broken. I was disgusted. I was stripped of everything, and God had to build me right back up. But it took some time, and it is a process. Processes don't happen overnight, even though there are people who've experienced miracles that have happened suddenly and overnight. They've been healed and restored, which I believe that is because I've seen it happen in my own life. But yet, sometimes healing doesn't come right away. For my own journey as a dual service veteran and as a trauma survivor, I've had to go through process after process to build my character, my patience, and understanding like things take time. No. Use this pause to grow. Use this pause to sharpen your mind, reframe your mindset, focus on reconditioning. Um, you don't have to stay stuck in where you are. You know, you don't have to fight the stillness. Use this time to reassess, recalibrate, reflect, rebuild. Your next chapter will demand the best version of you. And there's that saying, I guess in the Navy SEAL community, there's that saying that the only easy day was yesterday, because we're always striving forward. I know in the business world, that's what many entrepreneurs and business owners constantly work on their mindset and their schedules and their time management and their discipline, because we're we're only the best versions of ourselves when we allow ourselves and challenge ourselves at the same time to be the best versions of who we are for our families and for ourselves, most importantly. What does that mean? It can mean anything, really. How do you imagine yourself in the best way that you are? Like, can you be better? Oh, you can always be better than you are today. Oh, always, because we are human. We're gonna fail. We're gonna have negative thoughts. We're gonna struggle with like, you know, finding the right words to say, hurt people. And so we can always strive to be better than we are today. So take this time to work on your mindset and yourself, reset, rest and reset. And hopefully this time of reflection can help you move forward and with the best version of who you are. So this is Marilyn with Echo Tango Sierra. And remember, you're not stuck. You are being strengthened. I'll catch you on the next episode. Let's forge ahead, even in the pause. If you've liked this video, if you followed me, and if you've seen video 0 and 1, this is video 2, please like, please comment, please share. And if I can help you be your battle buddy, I'm fulfilling my purpose and my mission in life. And thank you for helping me help you. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.